and welcome into this Friday's edition of Entertainment News here at MB. I'm one of your co-hosts, Stephen John McLaughlin, or our co-host. His finger on the pulse. It's John C. Walsh. How are you doing, John?
Got a big stain on my hoodie. I've just noticed that with the protein shake. Bastard.
I'll stick to black.
The
it's the safest bet.
Yes, I mean, I've got black on underneath, but I feel like I'm perpetually wearing black t-shirts. So it's like, spice it up, John.
We don't have to worry about the cutouts now, that's the thing,
no,
isn't
we don't,
it?
no.
But we'd just like to welcome you all in to our YouTube channel, our Twitch stream, and our Spotify podcast. John is on the Coronas with a slice of lime.
Good luck. Try to drink it.
Yeah. They fizz up when you've got that, so be careful. Especially when they fall in down the neck. But I'm on the water tonight.
Definitely not going down the neck. I've made sure it clips. There's an art to it, Steve. You've got to clip it into the edge like so.
John, I'm assuming the run of order is the way I've sent it across. I just don't want to come at myself in case we've got... So as you can gather from our headline and our thumbnail, we're talking about Madhavan. Madhavan, that is, who is nominated as President of Film and Television Institute of India. Now, we will get some insight from a website, John.
There's some haters on there.
Yeah, we'll talk about it because it's good to get different sides, different perspectives, John. But this,
you know what it's like. The Indian populace, film-loving populace, they love to shit on Bollywood. They love to shit on the sort of upper echelons of Bollywood, and also the propaganda and the whole political stuff. That's a big issue in India just now, Stephen. There was a horrendous story came out recently. That I was actually stunned by. 2 young ladies taken from their workplace in northeast India. Brother and husbands murdered. They were gang raped, taken to a field and murdered. Horrendous. A lot of violence spewing out.
Happens everywhere though, doesn't it? Unfortunately. But
so I can understand that there's some apprehension and blowback against the political stuff, but we'll get into it.
We will, John. We'll try and keep it light and airy. That was a bit dark.
Fucking horrendous.
John, this is ndtv.com. This is coming in from. This is where I'm referencing.
Shall I bring it up?
John, this is all over the place because I did notice it was, I think it just broke when I sent it across within about half an hour. So I thought that's interesting because we have seen Madhavan's acting.
I think he's a cool user.
He is an actor, filmmaker, of course. Was on Friday, that's today, nominated as president of Pune-based Film and Television Institute of India, FTII, and chairman of its governing council. Union Minister Anurag Thakur shared the news on X, formerly known as Twitter, as we know, and congratulated the actor who turned director with his national award-winning film Rocketry, The Nambi Effect, which we reacted to.
We did. It looked good.
Yeah.
Is that the one based on the mission, the space mission?
Yeah.
Which is actually pertinent, Stephen, because obviously big news in the last week, India successfully landed on the dark side of the moon.
John, it's funny. Yeah. To quote Pink Floyd. John, I mean, I saw that, obviously trending a couple of weeks ago, last week, whatever it was, and I thought, how can we shoehorn that into our news? But I couldn't because it's not entertainment news. Because it was very interesting. It's quite an achievement as well. John, we
already know they've got an unbelievable group of scientists and just incredibly intelligent people.
As you can see from obviously the quote, well, maybe you can't because I don't know if we'll bring that up anymore.
Yeah, it's up,
heartiest congratulations to actor Madhavan Jai, is that, on being nominated as president of FTII official and chairman of the governing council. I'm sure that your vast experience and strong ethics will enrich this institute, bring positive changes and take it to a higher level. My best wishes to you, the INB minister wrote. So there you are.
I'm just blown away by the fact that he's 53 years of age. He's looking very good for Stephen. Bring up the dual web capture because you have got another quote there, Stephen. I think this may be Madhavan himself. Thank you so very much for the honour and kind wishes, Anurag Thakur Jai. I will do my very best to live up to all the expectations. Stephen, by all accounts, I've not got a huge amount of information on this institution. I think there's a bit of bickering going on, and I can read it up just now. You'll see the bickering that's going on in the actual comments. You expect this. It happens all the time. But by all accounts, it's more of a teaching sort of institute for the future generations of actors and just acting talent, maybe film talent in general, coming out of the subcontinent. I think there's a lot of confusion in here. People think it's CBSC, whatever that is. I think that may be some governing body which is in charge of the actual creative output in terms of film and stuff like that from the subcontinent. But by all accounts, it isn't. It's this FTII. Either way, Steve, I think it's a huge honour for a guy who's still at a right good age to be acting and doing some great work. We've seen Ginny Camp in his 70s still acting to a high calibre. And also the likes of Tyler Ajif, I think he's well into his 50s, 60s, acting to a high calibre. Talapathy Vijay, about to turn 50, acting to a very high calibre. Shah Rukh Khan in his 50s, about the same age as Al Madhavan, acting to a very high calibre, still bringing in big money at the box office. So, fair play to Al Madhavan for taking it on. And if it is a sort of teaching sort of institute that maybe tries to hone and sort of craft the next generation of actors, you can't really think of a better person who's been there and done it. Created multiple brilliant movies. We've seen a lot of great movies
Different
across the sort of genres.
Well, I was just going to talk about that. Obviously, the one that stands out to me is probably not the one that... obviously, Vikram Vedha is the one that stands out, John, but there was another one we watched with Ruth a couple of years ago called... it's called 13B, Fear Has a New Address, but we quoted that show proper Indian.
I like that film.
I can't remember what it's called.
I'll find it.
And we did see him in obviously 3 Idiots as well. So 3 different films there right away, John. We've got an action thriller, you've got the horror, and you've got the comedy as well. Comedy drama I always put 3 Idiots under because I think it was beautifully acted, great cast, great storyline, and as funny as it was at times, I thought it was a good drama as well, and he was a big part of that.
What was the name of that?
I can't remember.
That is annoying.
Yeah,
I'm going to search it up just now. 13B, Fear Has a New Address, because there is.
It was a good film, John.
I'm not going to search anything up because this browser is utter fucking shit.
Are you live, John? You're not getting anything.
No, it does it even when I'm not streaming, Stephen. So it's just a pain in the arse.
I did like that film.
It was very good, Stephen. He obviously played the husband figure, didn't he? And he became embroiled in it.
Yeah.
It started off taunting him in the apartment.
Those pictures, remember, on his phone?
Yeah, and also the lift, I think the lift kept breaking. And he had to keep going down the stairs. Obviously, 3 Idiots. I think it was a more minor role, wasn't it, in 3 Idiots? I'm pretty sure.
It was one of the 3, wasn't it? But it was a sort of quieter one out the other 2,
Also, we had your man that played Gudu Pandit, Ali Faisal. Played a very small cameo.
It was an Amir Khan film,
It definitely was an Amir Khan. But Stephen Madhavan, we've seen him go through in terms of aesthetics, the way he looks, a journey. He was really skinny and unrecognisable back in the day. Then he put on a lot of muscle and mass. Now he's a sort of grizzled salt and pepper looking geezer. And we were discussing the suit, Stephen. The suit game is just exemplary. It really is. I mean, I couldn't get away with this, and I says it, and I'll readily admit I could not get away with wearing a suit like that. I would look, as you said, Stephen, us Casper the Ghost white fucking motherfuckers would look like Mr. Bean.
Yeah, we just can't.
I was just blown away with how much profanity I put in that one sentence here. I really have to stop. That's it. But
enough. As you say, again, this guy is a chameleon. He looks different once again to what we remember him, obviously, in Vikram Vedha, John, which I know it was 6-year-old film now, but
is this Paris?
This is it looks like it. They've had to put the French flag in there just to sort of confirm.
I didn't even see that.
But he obviously played Vikram in it, and Vijay Sethupathi was playing the opposite. It's equally good. It's
one of my very good.
One of my favourite Indian films. John,
they've also remade that, haven't they, with your man from Sacred Games, and it doesn't look quite as good for me.
No. I think once you've seen the original, I'm like that with any film, Western film, Indian films, whatever. When I see the original, I'm not really that interested in seeing a remake, but there was something great about that film. Good storyline, complex characters, both characters sort of borderline on good versus evil, that sort of good cop, bad cop thing going on.
And it was broaching the sort of ambiguity of good and bad in both a criminal and a copper. And is there really such a thing? Have we all got elements of good and bad within us? And how life's never black and white, really, the ambiguity of life. And it did it very well, and it's even some really funny moments in there. So this is a guy who's broached many genres, who's an outstanding actor. He's a director and a writer. I think he was involved heavily in Rocketry. It's an award-winning movie. Some of the geezers and geezettes in here not agreeing with that. They think it's all politics and you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
But everything is. Everything is.
I mean, you look at it here, dumb individuals who have zero knowledge and common sense are always quick to retort. FTII is college, not government body. this realisation will never come to them. What does it matter, mate, whether it's a governing body or a college? Either way, he's been made the president, and he's a fine sort of mentor for the next generation of actors and acting talent.
I think it's always a good step, a good move, John, when someone within the industry who's got the experience as acting, or from behind the cameras, someone who's worked blood, sweat and tears to get to where they are, and then obviously get appointed president is a great honour. When you think back to the sort of 60s, 70s, well, maybe even further back in sort of the Western sort of studios, it was beverage companies, and big, massive multi-corporations that were running studios that didn't know how to make films.
Yeah.
You need people with film knowledge to be leading the industry. And I think it's a good move from an outside looking in. I'm not really interested in the politics, John. I'm looking at it from a sort of black and white perspective, straight down the line. Get someone in who's got the industry knowledge, someone who's served their time in acting or production. It's someone that knows the ins and outs of how films are made and how they perform and what a good story is, and get them in, because it is a good way to set an example for the future actors and the future filmmakers.
We've seen it in different industries as well, Steve. In football, off the top of my head, too, the more successful teams in the history of European football, weeding through young talent, stacked with previous players, people who've been there and done it. Bayern Munich, Rummenigge until recently, and now I think it was Oliver Kahn, now it's someone else. They had the director of football was an ex-player as well, his name's blanking me. And then I actually think of the talent they've had, Bergkamps and Van der Sars, and just people who have been there and done it in the highest echelons of football, who have been at the clubs.
Because the ones coming through who look up to these people. Look
up to them.
And respect them.
They've got knowledge of what it takes to be excellent in that profession, in that industry, and they're imparting that knowledge on the next generation. So, I don't really understand this bickering. As you can see here, Steve, I mean, they're saying Rocketry got National Award for Best Film.
Yeah.
It had incredibly strong competition with films like Meena Almirali, Gangubai, Triple R, Drishyam 2, Jai Bhim, Sarpata Parambarai. We've seen all these films pretty much. Yeah. Sarpata Parambarai in particular, I loved that. It was the boxing one, wasn't it?
Oh, it was incredible, I loved that.
Obviously, Jai Bhim was Surya. Triple R was one of my favourite films. Same reason he's been walking along, calling Vivek Agnatori a visionary. You can Google his statements and interviews since past years and you can see the pattern. Basically saying he's sycophantic and he's been playing the politics. I mean, look, it's all subjective, really, your enjoyment of different films. And we've seen this in India in particular, that there's real tribalism in the different regions. And if their films coming up against, like Triple R, say, for instance, coming up against KGF Chapter 2, they're violent with it, man, in social media. They're attacking each movie. And I spoke about this last night with video games, PlayStation versus Xbox, Microsoft versus Sony. It's fucking bullshit, man. We need to get away from this tribalism and just appreciate everything.
John, I'm similar to yourself. I want it all. In the words of Freddie Mercury, I want it all. I do, because, if I could afford it, I'd have a PlayStation and an Xbox.
I was searching them up there, actually. The Xbox is more expensive than the PS5 now.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, Sony are kind of fly boys at times, obviously, with exclusive content.
I'll be shoot fly boys.
Obviously Spider-Man games, etc., which kind of annoys me. But if I could afford it, I'd get both. It's as simple as that. If I could afford it, I'd go to see DC films and Marvel films. Yeah. Just the way I am. I just want good stuff, and it doesn't matter where it comes from. Same with films. Any films, doesn't matter where they're from. Just if it's good quality, I'll watch it. John, we saw that with Triple R. We saw that with KGF Chapter 2. Both out, I think, a month apart or something. Not even that, maybe a couple of weeks. But we watched both of them and we gave our views on it. Looking forward to KGF Chapter 2 more, I would say, at the time. And once we watched both of them, I prefer Triple R. It's just the way it is, Just take them on merit. Doesn't matter. Don't care about the backgrounds. Don't care about politics.
No.
I think it's a good move on a sort of professional level to bring someone in with that industry knowledge and to lead the industry as well.
I just love this shit though. I love all the sort of venom coming out.
I do. I mean, John, it gives us
an
insight as well. Sort of, we're outsiders looking in, and there'll be people perhaps watching this going, "What the fuck do you used to know about this?" And I get that, but this is why we're putting it in sort of layman terms. We're fans of Madhavan. We like him as an actor. We think it's a good move making him as president. Obviously, Film and Television Institute. because you want someone with inside knowledge, you want someone with inside experience. I can't stand when they bring someone in the outside, or if it's a corporation coming in and try to run a studio and don't know anything about filmmaking, don't know anything about good content. We've watched 3 of his films, John, and that's not a lot of films. But those 3 films were very good films.
Oh, they were?
And he was involved in all 3 of them. And
he was a very good presence in all of those films. And obviously Rocketry, it has been getting rave reviews. It's picked up awards.
And once we're back up on our feet again, John, we will be going into these type of films as well. And Gangabai, you mentioned it, John, I want to see that as well.
So Ali Abad, yeah, but she's playing this sort of gangster figure, feared figure on the streets. No, Stephen, look, it's by all accounts, as I say, I don't know a huge amount about the institution, but it is a sort of teaching, educational, acting institution. I'm much like you. I don't want to get into the whole political stuff. It's not something I'm educated in.
No.
And I don't like to discuss things I'm not 100% educated in, because I'll end up looking like a fool.
John, you can take a Western example. James Gunn.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people did not want him near DC.
No.
I thought, that's a good move. That's a guy that's got industry knowledge. He knows how to make good films, good content. He gets it, and he understands what people want as well.
Yeah.
The fans.
And this guy understands acting. Yeah. Because he's a fine actor.
So not going to please everyone, are you? Really, let's be honest.
He's now in charge of in that specific region anyway, of shaping the next generation of actors. So fair play to him, Madhavan.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see, keeping an eye on that and see the progress, John. But yeah, Rocketry, the Nambi Effect is certainly one on our list that we would like to react to. A 6-minute reaction, watch along there. Yeah, that's the way we're going to do it. That's the way we've been told to do it, so that's the way we'll do it. Even
then, I think you'll still have the chancellors coming in and trying
to
they just don't like
destroyed.
Us.
Yeah.
They just don't like us
because we didn't like a certain TV. Well, it's not that we didn't like it. We didn't like decisions. Yeah, because we rated it highly.
Didn't like the ending.
Yeah,
one facet of the ending.
Yeah.
Sue me, bitches.
Yeah, running to the people. Oh, look at these guys. Oh,
I'm absolutely convinced of that, Stephen. Without derailing the whole conversation, I'm convinced that's what happened, because there was a lot of other sort of production companies not even remotely connected to Azure, and it was getting flagged up months after we'd reacted to it. No issues.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden they're getting claimed.
What's the worst that can happen? The channel disappears, we come back in another form, because you don't know us. We come back stronger.
Strike me down now, Darth, and I'll become more powerful than you ever imagined.
It will not stop us.
You can never imagine.
It will not stop us. If we've got to start again, we'll fucking start again. Simple as that. Because that's the way we are. We will never be beaten.
Back streets, back. All right. Don't know where that came from.
Anything else to say, John, on the
No. Didn't know much about the institution. I did brief research into it. I got the sort of man in the streets opinion, for good and bad.
Joe Blogs.
The political fucking nonsense and accusations of sycophancy. And my one takeaway is I still quite like Madhavan. Superficially, what I've seen of him, I think he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
I think he's a good actor. He clearly knows the industry. And now he's been put in a sort of presidency role for this educational institution. That can only be a good thing. As you said, Stephen, having people with experience in the industry in charge of is it hewing or honing? Shaping and hewing the next generation of actors, thespians. And look, you can say again, there's accusations of nepotism and looking after a job for the boys, as we like to say here in Scotland. Because he's well in the door and they like to keep it in the little cliquey circles.
John, I'll see it the other way. If you bring someone in from the outside, you're thinking they've got connections in the inside to get this job. How else would you bring someone in from the outside? That's the way I look at things as well.
Yeah.
It's all opinion based anyway. It doesn't matter who it was going to be. It's going to upset some people. It's going to please some people. That's just the way it is.
People are always butthurt about something. You can't.
Especially nowadays,
Oh, fuck me. Yeah. Honestly, pathetic.
Yeah.
People are just... I'm convinced it's like dopamine.
Yeah.
They get their dopamine hit from just reading misery and feeling miserable and
being offended.
Feasting off of other people's misery and being offended and, I don't know, maybe dyeing their hair fucking lilac and whining about their life. Why don't you just live your life? You're only here for 80 years if you're lucky.
Yeah, John is talking about Poppy from Trolls, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Fucking it's not aiming at anyone specifically, but
I say that as someone who literally every single survivor that I play with on Dead by Daylight has got some form of purple. Literally, my Nia survivor
purple rings.
has got fucking purple and pink hair. So that's just the first thing that came to my head. I like the colour lilac. It's actually my favourite colour. I was watching a Lewis Hamilton video the other day. Mega tangent here.
I wish I could dye my hair.
But you can.
Wish I had hair to dye.
I know. Yeah, so do I, Stephen. I wouldn't dye it purple though. I've got bad memories of dyeing hair. But yes, Lewis, the goat of F1, confirmed that his favourite colour is purple, and I'm like, so's mine, Lewis.
Yeah.
Purple and aqua.
Are you going for the purple?
I can't buy another Lewis Hamilton hat, Stephen.
Why not?
No, it's too much.
Go for it.
It's too fucking much.
Yeah, if there's a lilac one, I'd get it.
There's a purple one.
Well, I'd get it. You should get it.
It's too much.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't.
Who's seen it? You know what I mean?
Everybody.
Yeah, but who's going to remember? Apart from obviously
like
people on
Captain
YouTube.
America. I like Captain America. I've got a shield. I've got a hat. I've got a hoodie.
Yeah.
I'm Captain America.
But anyway, we'll move on to our next topic conversation, John. This is a sequel that doesn't have to be a sequel. This is like Coming to America all over again for me. Coming to America, that is.
What is it? Aha song? What was it? Aha. The only way. No, is it?
Yaz and the Plastic Population, yeah.
Baby.
Well, I don't know about that because John,
only way is down.
This is Beetlejuice 2.
No, to be fair, we'll get into it.
And don't get me wrong, most of the crew are back. The cast and crew are back for this sequel anyway. Because I hate when they do that. I hate when you see a sequel and there's no one from the first film in it.
Looking at you, Jim.
But this is we've got some insight. Who's teasing a story? It's Harris Zambaralukis, cinematographer for Beetlejuice 2. Now, the cinematographer's got a good back catalogue. We were looking into their filmography, John, earlier. Good filmography, I think.
Yes,
a good CV.
Up and down.
Yeah. Worked with the likes of Kenneth Branagh on a few films. Obviously, Thor being one, Belfast being another one.
Kenneth would be the type. Belfast was a Kenneth Branagh film as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think Kenneth Stevens the type of guy who would be like the president of an acting institution. You don't think he is just. You think of like a British actor, Kenneth Branagh right away.
Yeah.
I'm like, there you go. He's
I
the
worked
one.
with his cousin, John.
It's fucking mad.
And he looks similar to him, Warren. If you're watching Warren, I doubt you are. But obviously from Belfast as well. And
Belfast.
They're cousins. But if you saw Warren, you'd say he looks like Kenneth Branagh. He does look like him. It's ridiculous.
Kenneth's great. I love Kenneth. What an actor.
John, Tenet, he was superb.
He was a bastard in Tenet, but he was very, very good. Because we know that he's not a bastard. You speak about actors who are multifaceted and can deliver performances in a whole host of genres. Plays villains, plays Shakespearean characters, directs. Guy can do it all.
Yeah, he can.
Plays, what's he called? Poirot.
Yeah.
Forgot his first name.
Yeah.
I was going to call him Sydney, but it's not.
Sidney Poirot.
Sidney Poirot.
Sidney Poitier.
That's exactly what it was.
I can't remember. What's Poirot's? I can't remember.
Anyway,
that's not what we're not here to talk about Poirot. We're not here to talk about Kenneth Branagh. Here to talk about Beetlejuice 2. And this is coming in from Harris and Zambaralukis, who's teasing the story details and theme for the upcoming Tim Burton sequel scheduled to be released next year. Set in the craziest world possible. That is the headline, of course. Now, this is coming in from Screen Rant, John, and it's via The Wrap. Zambaralukis revealed the themes that play a key role in Beetlejuice 2 sequel. Beetlejuice 2 sequel? That's not right. Beetlejuice sequel. Come on, guys. Come on.
The Beetlejuice sequel known as Beetlejuice 2 because we have no originality.
So,
Officer.
I mean, the way I'm reading that, Beetlejuice 2 sequel, that's the third film then, is it? Because it's a sequel to Beetlejuice 2.
Maybe they're doing a James Cameron and filming all of the sequels at the same time.
Yeah, come on, Screen Rant. Fix that paragraph.
And then because he's conquered the box office, he thinks, you know what, I'm going to release the third and fourth sequels as TV shows because I am officially the king of the world.
Though the movie's filming has been suspended since SAG-AFTRA has gone on strike alongside the WGA, cinematographer stated that the family theme-driven Burton sequel, specifically what keeps a family close tied together and united even amidst an ever-changing, unpredictable world. And this is what they had to say. At its heart, Beetlejuice 2 is a story about a family, and now it's 30 years later, and what are the intricacies and the human condition in keeping a family together? All that time set in this craziest world possible. That's why I choose projects that human connection for me is always at the forefront.
Should be, shouldn't it?
I think it was one of the things I liked about the first film was the family unit. As dysfunctional as it was a believable family unit.
Steve, I think just about every family unit on the planet's dysfunctional to some degree, and certainly yours is.
A great cast as well, John. We were looking at the original cast. We were looking
Can't speak for you, Stephen.
We were looking at some oddballs. Not immediate family, but obviously distant. But yeah, a lot of oddballs. Don't care if you see this. These are oddballs. Strange people.
I'm talking about myself.
But yeah, John. I mean, it's good to see. Well, we're talking about this. It's going to be very interesting to see if this film will click, will it connect to the first film. It's been so long. Michael Keaton's back. Tim Burton's back. Winona Ryder's back. Catherine O'Hara.
I'll bring it up. I've got the cast here.
I think that's her name, who played the mother. Obviously, Kevin's mum in Home Alone. And
also the father. That's where I was getting the father dying. I seen her name.
I don't know if he's in it or not. I don't think
I'm talking about the father from Home Alone. He passed away, didn't he? Quite young.
Yeah.
Which shocked me at my core. I actually discovered that quite recently. Look at that house. Look at that. That's just fantastic, isn't it? The set design. Wondrous. I'd have to look at the original, but if I recall correctly, it was a toy neighbourhood and it zoomed right in, didn't it?
Yeah, it was Alec Baldwin's character.
Yeah.
It's interesting. They're not back, aren't they? Unless
Alec Baldwin's definitely not back.
Unless they're perhaps maybe cameos in there as ghosts, because they were ghosts, weren't they? Him and Gina Davis character.
Right off the bat, Stephen, you've got Jenna Ortega in there. And that's got me...
Beetlejuice's wife.
Beetlejuice's wife. How's that work? Monica Bellucci, He's pulled well.
Defoe, John.
He's pulled well. It's a stunning cast, it really is. Even Justin Theroux, he rings a bell. I think he's maybe... I don't want to jump into it. What has he did? Mulholland Drive? Wow.
He's been in quite a few films, John.
Psycho. I came across that guy
in The Last
night.
Jedi, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. He's one of the... He was the one that was portrayed as a code breaker at the casino. But it wasn't him. He had the little moustache.
That's correct.
I think he dated, I don't know if he still is, Jennifer Aniston as well.
Oh, did he?
And he is related to Louis Theroux as well.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Is Justin Theroux is he not the president of Canada or something like that? I'm pretty sure.
No, it's Trudeau.
Is it not him, no?
Justin Trudeau.
Is that not the same guy, no?
No, he's a prick.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, Louis, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if Theroux's a prick. I'm talking about Trudeau.
I'm pretty sure Louis is his brother. I might be wrong.
I can certainly try and search that up right now, Stephen.
Can't reach this page.
We'll see if I can reach it now. I've typed a Z instead of an X. It doesn't matter.
Maybe not.
Sebastian Theroux.
Sebastian.
Who's this then? Well, he's not an actor.
It's his brother. There's Louis Theroux there.
Louis Theroux.
Cousin. Yeah. I knew they were related. Yeah.
My money don't jiggle. Wiggle.
British American journalist. Johnny, anyway, get back on to obviously the subject.
Cast is fantastic, Stephen. You've got the OGs back. You've got Winona there. You've got also Michael Keaton back. Catherine O'Hara's back. You've supplemented that with some brilliant talent.
Yeah.
Felipe Cates. I've seen his face before as well. I think he's getting linked for a big role.
He does look like Rami Malek.
Looks like a lot like Rami Malek. We were talking about him. That's what it was. We says he looked like Rami Malek.
He does look like him
combined with someone else. Joaquin Phoenix.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe as well.
It's just them all. Laughter lines up.
He should play Joker. That's what we're saying.
Good. That's a good shout. We're talking about that the other week then.
We were, a young...
Jenna Ortega used to have always said she's a young
Winona Ryder of her generation. She's just got that energy, Stephen, and she bounces off of weirdness like this. She obviously played Wednesday Addams in that TV show. I've still not seen it.
Yeah, Wednesday,
but I actually do want to watch it.
Strangely called Wednesday.
Wednesday, yes. Yeah. She's just tailor-made to work with someone like Tim Burton. She's doing, I think, Scream recently. She's just perfect for this role.
Do you think Michael Keaton has got the energy?
Do you think he's got a shrunken head? One of the greatest fucking scenes in the history of cinema.
The ticket, doesn't he?
Yeah, and his head gets shrunk. I love it.
It's a little sprinkling, isn't it?
It's like me when I'm wearing that ridiculous oversized t-shirt. My head looks like Michael Keaton in Beetlejuice.
It was such a great film. But do you think he'll have the same energy, John? Do you think he's still got that zip about him? Because that was one of the first films I saw Michael Keaton in, was probably Beetlejuice. I was 12 at the time, so anything that was before that was probably I was too young for it. But this was the film that just before Batman, a year before Batman came out.
It's crazy, isn't it, when you
and I
think about
thought, who is this guy? Fucking nuts, you know.
He's a Scottish guy from Sons of Anarchy as well, Gianni Calcetti.
Right, okay.
I think he's Scottish.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he was in Sons of Anarchy, and he's a Scotsman. Pretty sure he's a Scotsman.
Yeah.
No, native. Fucking, we're having a bear today, aren't we?
He's Wonka. He's in.
Was
Wonka.
he in Sons of Anarchy? Am I thinking about a totally different fucking guy here?
He was in The Crown.
The Crown. I was about to say something there. Step back. No, he just looks like the Scottish guy from Sons of Anarchy.
Having a bit of him,
We are having a bit of him. An Italian looks Scottish. I'm going to bring this guy
Justin
up.
Trudeau's the Canadian Prime Minister.
You were right though, Steve. Louis Theroux is a cousin. He's related. Yeah. Where is he? That guy there, Tommy Flanagan. Not even fucking close.
I don't know.
Kinda
it's the hair and the beard. Yeah, he looks a bit more serious, that other guy there.
He looks like he could have been an extra in Braveheart. I think about that there.
He probably was. I think everybody and their granny was an extra if you were Scottish and walked
Wish I was of a certain age.
Apart from Billy Connolly.
I could have played a little kid in it though. Yeah. But sadly, Mel didn't come calling.
No.
The Antipodine.
You said to little me there.
Antipodine bastard he is. Yes, he is Australian, isn't he? Or is he American? I always get him mixed up with
I think he's Australian.
Russell Crowe.
I think
I'm getting an excuse. I'm fucking drinking.
I think he's born in Australia, brought up in America. I'm not sure. I can't remember, John.
No idea.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the Bee Gees.
I think he's American. Peaks from New York.
Picture. He looks demented there. Wow.
He looks like that fucking Joker from that black and white Joker thing we've seen, but when he's older. Because that guy was 34, 35.
So he was born in the States. Where's the Australian thing come? Was that just Mad Max?
Just me made it up.
Was it filmed in Australia? I don't know.
I just fucking made it up completely. I always think he's Australian. I'm going to apologise to any Antipodean viewers watching. I have nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with Antipodeans. These are brilliant people. I was just saying that no later than yesterday. I love Australians. I just try to do an Australian accent, and I love their over usage of the CUNT word. Much like us, they pull it off better
and
than
they
we do.
Mate quite a bit as well.
And mate, I love Aussies and I love people from New Zealand. Incredible. So
Kathleen O'Hara joins back as well.
Yes,
I love her in anything she's in. She's a great actress, a great comedic actress as well. Still going strong. And it's going to be very interesting.
Schitt's
Creek, yeah. One of the standouts for me was obviously the dining scene in the original film. She was a big part of it because she was leading the song Day-O, obviously.
Day-O.
And fantastic. Just incredible. But a good cast, John.
Button movie.
I think it perhaps was my introduction to Winona Ryder as well, who went on to I was going to say bigger and better things. I don't know. I think that was a very good film for her to.
Yeah, I mean, Winona, she was very much a child of the 90s, wasn't she? A sort of, not a child, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was a product of the 90s.
She was one of the in crowd.
Yeah, her and Johnny.
Yeah.
They should have stayed together, those two.
Yeah, Edward Scissorhands obviously came out a few years later.
Yep, that was probably one of the first movies that freaked me out, and I don't know why, because Edward was a very mellow kind of chap.
Sensitive.
Scissorhands freaked me the fuck out for some reason. Obviously, Little Women.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she speaks for herself, Winona. She's had an incredible career, and she's, as I say, she's almost like the mother figure of Jenna Ortega in real life as well. So it's just, for me, the casting's on point. You bring William Dafoe into this setting with all of his eccentric, zany madness, you just know.
Did you see Jenna Ortega's Hot Ones?
Yeah, she didn't even flinch. She wasn't flustered.
No drink. No drink was had. Like Paul Rudd.
Where is she from? Is she Mexican? Am I right in saying?
I'm going to stall here with that response till this loads up, and then I'll go, yes.
Just going to keep searching things up.
Yeah, American.
She's American.
Yeah.
But yeah, come on. She was incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable. And how I presume I would fare on Hot Ones. I think I'd be like that. I think I would fucking just destroy those sauces. And I'm going to buy them.
Yeah.
And I'll do a video.
You should probably, that would be interesting. I wouldn't partake though, and I can't handle Spice Johnnies, you know.
It's crazy how young she is, isn't it? She's only 20 years of age, not for 21.
It feels like she's been around forever. I don't know why. I think she's just been, over the last year or two, been quite saturated in all mediums. But a good person, John. A very interesting interview on Hot Ones as well. Very grounded for someone our age that's been thrust into the limelight at an early age as well, John. But it's just, I'm looking forward to it in the sense that I want to see how this connects to a 30-year-old film that was so unique and doesn't really merit a sequel. It's perfect the way it is, so it's going to be very interesting to see where they carry this. And obviously the cinematographer is saying it's got a very family close tied togetherness about it as well, which is a key. I think that was one of the key elements of the first film. If you can get your head round that, if you can master that and make that sort of key element of this film, it's obviously the comedy surrounds it, but you've got to make sure it's a believable, connecting sort of to the audience type of film. And I think they will do that. The fact that Tim Burton is back as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's the master.
It's his world, you know.
Stephen, I think it's got a great chance of succeeding.
Yeah.
It's not a sort of 80s action kind of movie that's trying to recreate that magic. These kind of things can still be done to a degree of success. We've seen
a timeless sort of feel to it.
It's just the weirdness, the eccentric sort of edge. I think of The House with the Clock in Its Walls with Jack Black and I forget who the other actor was, the young guy. That was kind of zany and different. It was your man who was in Inglourious Bastards turned to directing, horror directing. Eli Roth, yeah. And I really enjoyed that, and that gave me kind of vibes of these kind of movies that were out in the 80s and the late 90s and the early 90s, I should say. So you can certainly still tap into that zany sort of family-friendly horror kind of genre in the modern day and do it justice. The fact that it's Tim Burton, as you says, and guys like this, man, I've just brought this guy up here, Alfred Gough. You look at the fucking stuff he's been writing on: Smallville, Spider-Man 2. Wednesdays,
probably the greatest Spider-Man film ever.
To me, it is the greatest Spider-Man movie, even to this day. I've seen them all to this point, and that is still the best. So you've got the right talent in front of the camera, behind the camera. I'm just going to go through all the fucking writers here. I mean, look at that again. It's just a who's who of writing talent.
Yeah.
The genre is just perfect for Tim Burton. The cast, to me, looks ready-made. And you look at the actual image of the house on the set, there's a lot of attention to detail there. So you've got great horror writers, you've got great all-round writers, you've got Tim Burton there. I hope it's a success, Stephen. It's never going to eclipse the original. The original is one of the greatest sort of family horror movies of all time. I was aware of it as a little kid, been urged to watch it, finally did see it, loved it, hilarious, brilliant film, but it also had that dark, not dark, but you know what I mean, that sort of the Tim Burton vibe, that edge he brings to his films.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got it in every single movie. It is dark. Yeah. It's kind of dark and atmospheric.
You can watch a film and if you didn't know who the director was, just the actual look of it, the vibe of it, you'd go, "This is a Tim Burton film." I know it is. I just can
even Dumbo. He did Dumbo, didn't he? What did he do, Dumbo? Yeah, I've got myself thinking. Guy Ritchie did Aladdin. I think he did do Dumbo.
He did, yeah.
And that was dark for a Disney remake.
Yeah.
That was a dark, atmospheric movie. I'm going to check it, Dumbo.
Yeah.
He definitely directed it as well. He wasn't just a producer. I'm not having that.
Yeah,
he directed it.
Yeah.
So, I think this has got the potential to succeed. I really do. And look, the fact that we spoke about it.
I really do mean that, to be perfectly honest.
I really do mean that. To be brutally honest with you, I think this could comfortably be... No, jokes aside, I'm looking forward to this, man, with the cast. I really am. I'm looking forward to seeing
comfortably
how it could
Scottish
play
people
out.
just want to shut the fuck up and tell you.
It's Scottish people who are trying to sound more prim and proper than they are in real life. And they start adding vowels and... Not vowels, but what do you call it? Syllables.
Yeah.
Into words. Syllable. Into words that don't exist comfortably.
I'll be very interested to see how Winona Ryder is as well, because the character that she played was a very unique kid.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was pre-teen or teen, early teen, I can't remember.
Research that up, actually, how old she was. I'm intrigued.
I mean, she would have been in her
88. She was born in 71. She'd have been 17.
Yeah, so she was in her late teens, but 16. I think she was playing probably younger at the time. But just an oddball of a kid, with a weird haircut, a really bad haircut.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
It was a homemade haircut. Probably Edward Scissorhands probably got his hands on her, but yeah, I mean, she looks good for 51. John.
Yeah, you're looking at images though of maybe a little bit early. Look at these two here. I'll just bring this up briefly.
People, aren't
they? Yeah, look at these two. These two should have stayed together.
Yeah.
They were just perfect for each other.
Yeah, it's funny that
it pains you when you see the shit he's went through. If he just fucking stayed with her, it'd have been better for him.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's life, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dashing couple, but anyway, looking forward to it, John. Obviously, it doesn't come out to next year. I'm sure. I'll tell you something. I'm looking forward to the trailer when it comes out.
Absolutely, Steve.
Just that'll give you an insight. It'll give you a feel to how it's going. But
we've seen that, didn't we, with the Sonic trailer?
Yeah.
We were wondering how Jim Carrey would do as obviously evil Eggman, evil Robotnik. Yeah. I can't remember his fucking nickname. It doesn't matter. Eggman. I am the Eggman. Woo! Yeah. Evil Robotnik. You seen the energy he brought to that trailer right away. You're like, yep, he has nailed it. We just know it's going to be a great movie, at least from that side of things. Surprisingly, James Marsden bounced off him. Obviously, the voice and acting from Sonic. I think it was actually quite a well-renowned actor who did that. Just from the trailer, you got the vibes.
Yeah,
we'll get the question you asked answered, Stephen, from the trailer. Even a 2-minute trailer. Has Michael Keaton still got the energy to portray that character, Beetlejuice? You'll know from the trailer. Because you can't fake that. You can't put it up and make him look as though he's bringing the energy. It's either there or it isn't.
He's proven that he can come back from a character that he played decades ago and still do it with obviously Bruce Wayne, and I thought it was fantastic in The Flash. It was almost like we just picked up where he left off in 1992 with Batman Returns. Obviously wearing a wig because he's not got that type of hair.
Speaking about Batman, Stephen, briefly before we move on, I get asked a question in the chat last night. What's your favourite Batman movie? Between the Batman and The Dark Knight, arguably the two best Batman movies.
I think The Dark Knight.
At least of the last 20 years anyway.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight, I said The Dark Knight as well.
Yeah, I love the Batman. I thought Matt Reeves did a fantastic job. Robert Pattinson was fantastic in it as well, and just an overall good vibe to the film. Almost comic book. I know that's an obvious thing to say, but sometimes when you see a comic book, story in film, it doesn't feel the same. But this was like it was just let right out of the pages of a comic book. Graphic novel, of course, but yeah, for me it's Dark Knight. Just I've got good memories of that, John, going to the cinema to see it. Just the vibe in the theatre when obviously Joker appears and the gasp, just the performance of obviously your man
Heath Ledger, who get wrote off.
Yeah,
that guy from 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah, that fucking guy.
It was the same as Michael Keaton, though.
That guy.
Go back to 1988 when obviously. Batman 89 was in production and announcements of casting and stuff like that. Just off the back of Beetlejuice, and you're thinking the guy who played Beetlejuice is playing Batman. Fuck off! What are they doing? This Tim Burton guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's not even a comic book fan. Yeah, and he's picking his pal from his previous film. This is not going to go down well. You were wrong.
Yeah.
And you were wrong with Heath as well. Heath was fantastic. Great.
Just a shame we didn't get to see more of Heath.
Yeah, I'm trying to introduce my oldest daughter to the Dark Knight trilogy. It's going to be a tough one because Batman Begins, if you're not into Batman, it's a hard film to start off with, I think.
I thought Batman Begins was brilliant.
It was, John. It's my best one out of 3.
Yeah.
It's my best one out of 3. I love it, just the origins.
I mean, you tell me to watch it, Stephen. I think you've seen it in the theatres. Maybe I didn't.
I can't remember, John.
You certainly watched it anyway and told me you need to watch this, and I finally did, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
What a film.
Amusing.
What a movie.
But pointless. But we're going to move on, John, to our
Crash, bang, wallop. What a video.
Topic. We're going to move on to our third topic, and we're going to stay retro here, John. We're going back there.
Long time ago when we was fab.
Yeah, we're talking about the Terminator, and we're talking about the arm and the chip recovery scene, which was deleted. Now, if you've seen this scene. I think it was included. I don't know if it was included in the bonus or if it was included in the Ultimate Edition. I've got the Ultimate Edition and I've not watched it in probably about 15 years or something.
I'm the same. I don't think I've seen this film in round about that length of time. It's been a long time. It's strange how I've watched T2 a hell of a lot, but I don't watch the original half as much as I've watched, or I have not watched.
Well, I mean, I was 8 when it came out, John, so my dad was a big fan of the original film, and it's probably from about it was 84 it came out, so probably about 86, 87 was when I probably saw it. I was about 10, probably shouldn't have saw it. Horror film in my book as a kid. Terrified of Arnold Schwarzenegger in that film. And obviously that was a good 4 or 5 years before the sequel came out by the time I saw the original film. So I had a good 5 years to watch that film over and over again, but once T2 came out, that just blew it out the water for me. A great sequel. Surpassed the original, which is a hard thing to do, and that's one of the reasons I've not really watched the original film as much as the second one, but I still love it. I do love it, John. And I do know the scene they're talking about. I do know the scene they're talking about, and I'm glad they took it out in hindsight. At the time, if it was a standalone film, I would have thought, nah, they should have kept that in. But it wasn't a great acted scene, and we'll get into that why it wasn't a great acted scene. But I thought, looking in hindsight, that scene with obviously Dyson, is it Miles Dyson you call him? He's in his workplace and they've got the arm and they've got the chip. That was a great reveal. That was oh wow, they actually recovered that stuff.
That was right then, wasn't it?
From the no, it was a sort of introduction to the character. He was walking through his sort of lab, right. And he goes into the sort of vault and you can see the arm just sitting in the sort of glass cage and the chip as well. And was
that in the first film or the second?
It was in the first film. This scene was in the first film. It was a key scene. It was cut. It wasn't Dyson,
that film is completely fucking gone then.
But we'll get into it, John. We'll get into it.
Because I remember the chip scene.
Yeah, from the second film.
And they obviously had it.
So I'll fill you in anyway. This is on screen rant, and it probably will. You'll probably remember it once you see this if you've seen the Ultimate Edition. The Terminator producer Gail Ann Hurd explained why a key deleted scene featuring the recovery of the T-800's arm and chip was cut from the movie. Released in 1984, James Cameron's sci-fi classic introduced an iconic character in Arnold Schwarzenegger's cyborg assassin from the future. With the release of Terminator 2 Judgment Day in 1991, Cameron's creation officially became a franchise, but as hardcore fans realised the series was actually set up perfectly in a scene deleted from the original movie. In the excised near-ending moment, scientists from Cyberdyne Systems recovered parts from the destroyed T-800, setting in motion the chain of events that will eventually lead to the future war between humanity and
that's fucking...
So now, almost 40 years after the release of the first Terminator, producer Hurd has explained why the decision was made to cut the scene that put a perfect capper on an already near-perfect movie. As Hurd laid out on Twitter, X, the scene was removed due to some questionable acting by cast members who were not actually professional actors. I sensed this, John, when I saw it. But
I need to see this scene. I think I've actually seen this.
But where instead financiers that she and Cameron were unfortunately forced to put into the movie. You get this quite a bit, John, in films. And this is what Hurd had to say. The Terminator financier, John Daly's Hemdale Films, had an output deal with Orion Pictures but hadn't yet made it a hit. That changed with our film and Platoon. They insisted we use financier friends, not actors in this scene, which ruined it for us. They were paid as actors via the Taft-Hartley Act. I think he insisted they would be in the film because the financiers were promised a return on their investment and yet to receive one. Daly never believed the film would be a success. The film cost $6.4 million, which seemed like an awful lot to us at the time, which is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
But obviously at the time,
inflation and stuff like that is still a very small number.
So I mean, if you ever get the chance
I feel like I have seen this.
That scene, I think it might be in the bonus stuff. I can't remember. I might be having maybe I'm doing a bit of a Mandela effect here. Because I've seen the Terminator 2 Ultimate Edition, John, and you've got Michael Biehn's back as Kyle Reese in the second one. He comes as a vision in the hospital that Sarah's in, and get on your feet, soldier. Pulls her together. You need to get out of here for the sake of John.
Michael Biehn was phenomenal, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was
what
fantastic.
What happened to that guy's career? I'm pretty sure he didn't have as good a career as he should have.
No, maybe not. Maybe not. I thought, obviously, I think the last thing I saw him in was probably Planet Terror. Mm-hmm. You know, the Robert Rodriguez film, mm-hmm. Double matinee with Tarantino's Death Proof.
Absolutely mental film.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the probably last time I saw him in anything. I probably have seen him in stuff
just
since.
Look at that shot though, isn't it just unbelievable? Yeah. But Stephen, this is everything that I spoke about the other night when I spoke about films of this era. You could recreate that full CG and it would just be shit. This will all be practical. I'm not saying it's all motion, stop motion, but there's something tangible. You can touch it. It feels real, and that adds a degree of creepiness that it's just not attainable with visual effects. You just cannot.
I'm sure that scene. I don't know. I think that one might be from T3, where John's having the nightmare and then he wakes up.
Oh yeah,
and it looks right at the camera. That's
just a creepy bastard
it's
thing,
the way
isn't it?
It's just grinning at the camera.
This is what my biggest fear is with AI.
Yeah,
that if we do tip over the edge and there's a singularity moment, that we will have things like this running about. Hopefully not in my lifetime. Hopefully not in anyone I know's lifetime. But my God, that is just the fear.
Yeah.
Genuinely the fear. It's the fact that we get real teeth.
Yeah. Have you noticed the teeth though? Have you noticed the teeth though? Have you noticed something about the teeth? The two front ones?
They're kind of, yeah.
Do you notice the space between them?
Yeah.
Who's got the space between their teeth?
Oh, I don't fucking... I'm blanking.
Arnie.
Oh, so he has, yeah.
That's what that's based on.
I didn't even realise he had a space.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if he's got it now, but certainly when he was making these films, he had the space between his teeth.
Too busy looking at the man's jacked fucking Mr. Olympian, fucking 7-time Mr. Olympian body.
You notice it
that's detail. That's attention to detail again. That's what makes Cameron so fucking great, Stephen.
Yeah.
But yeah, the deleted scene. If it's came at and you're telling me this originally was at the start of the movie, because
that would have been the end of the movie.
The end of the movie.
This was the end of Terminator 1.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. They revealed they had the actual chip
after Sarah had gone through that factory crush.
Yeah, and obviously
what was it she said? You're terminated.
Yeah,
motherfucker or something. I can't remember.
It was,
and it's crushed. Obviously, the remains were left in there.
And then the hand they retrieved it. Also the chip.
This team came in. Well, they weren't actors. They were.
That was cut out the movie, and then ultimately we did see that they had retrieved it in the second movie.
It was a good review.
Yeah.
It was a great review.
Yeah, that wouldn't have made any fucking sense, Stephen, to do that at the start or the end of the first movie. It
suggests there's going to be a sequel before they knew the film was going to be a success. So it was a kind of...
And this would have been before James Cameron was a sort of...
household name.
Like box office titan as we know him now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a smart omission. And the fact, I don't think I've seen it. Maybe I've blanked it out in my head. I'll need to watch it. And maybe it'll rejig something in my brain. But the fact it's financiers, it's not actual paid actors, it's a sensible course of action to then delete that out of the fucking movie. Why would you have it in the movie? The financiers get paid, so they get their sort of 60 pieces of silver, if you'd like, if that's the phrase, from the movie, because also they had fears. Stephen, this goes back to what you had in the 70s as well with Star Wars, where you had directors making unbelievably original concepts, putting them into theatres, and they were exploding and creating huge amounts of money and making cinematic history. This is when we still had originality in Hollywood, but there would have been trepidation and fear in the studios when these movies were getting released.
I think that's always been there, John, and it's even more so now because they are afraid to make any move that they don't think will make money. But it was always there. I don't think we could be that naive to say it wasn't there in the 60s, 70s and 80s. Of course it was there. There's always risk with any film getting made. Lots of money getting put up front on the basis that you hope it's going to be a success, and it always is the case for film, regardless of what studio it is, what director it is, who's in the cast. It's always a risk.
But Stephen, when you actually look at it though, and you say that about risk, it's obviously all scaled now, because now we've got movies making over $1 billion at the box office every other fucking year, if not multiple times a year, which was a real milestone maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, a movie breaking that. Also, Disney have changed that with the MCU. Barbie's now made over $1 billion. I think Oppenheimer's not far off it. But back then, these movies would have cost a fraction of what they cost now. I mean, you speak about, what was the one we were speaking about? Was it this one? It was like 6 point something million. They thought it was expensive.
Well, you've got to remember,
that's cheap as hell. Obviously, inflation.
You've got to remember, James Cameron, Alan Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn were not household names. Nobody really knew who these people were. You know, unless you were following Arnie's bodybuilding sort of career at that point.
Hercules.
And Conan, I suppose, yeah, granted. But as a box office name, he would not have cost as much as he would have for the sequel. No. You know, and Linda Hamilton as well.
But even then, the risk was there, and they were also reluctant. But it was much smaller numbers, so the actual tipping point to make a profit in the theatres would have been significantly lower. And you think of the actual calibre of movie it was getting released back then. It's just night and day. Not even
obviously
close.
It was left out, John, because they didn't have proper actors to play out the scene. If they had proper actors, would you have been happy with that scene being left in?
No. For the reasons mentioned, Steve, and it's just it obviously delivers a cliffhanger and gives you a sign that there's going to be a second movie, but it's better as a singular story if you admit that she's won, defeated the Terminator, and the sort of fucking this repeating of history and things coming back and trying to change the future. That is taken off the table. Then you go into a second movie, it's revealed they did get it. It's a sort of eureka moment in the second movie.
It's a part of Back to the Future. It always bugged me at the end was that although Robert Zemeckis did put that something's got to be done about your kids, the whole scene, the way it was played out and then leaves you there, it was never planned to be a sequel, as Robert and the words of Robert Zemeckis, they never planned it. Was just a joke. It was a throwaway. It was, this is their next adventure.
Then they had to remake it anyway.
Studio pressure.
Yeah.
The first film's a success. You've already left a cliffhanger we can follow on for it. Because Robert Zemeckis, it then throws up other issues. Well, Jennifer's in this scene. We don't really want Jennifer playing a big part in this storyline. You know, it's all about Doc Marty's, the sort of dynamics between those two. And they had to put her to sleep. Just to get around it.
And I'm blanking on his name, which is horrendous. George McFly actor.
Crispin Glover,
Crispin Glover didn't want to come back.
Yeah.
Because he didn't come back.
Yeah.
And it sparked off a whole lawsuit, which he's still up about to this day.
Yeah.
And still wearing incredibly dapper suits. Speaking
still
about it.
There as well. Yeah.
He has. So Stephen, that's a sort of perfect example of why you don't put something like that in a movie of that nature at the time.
Yeah.
Because you're sort of putting yourself into the corner, backing yourself into a corner, if I can do the right saying. Presume there's going to be enough success to merit a sequel, and then you're kind of ruining the story. I mean, you're not. I mean, you could probably set it up and say, look, it's just doomed to repeat. And you could, even if there wasn't a Terminator 2 free Salvation, I was watching Salvation briefly the other night.
People, this is the thing about time travel.
It could be a sort of thing about humans. Just
it's the thing about time travel, though, is that, you know, if Sarah Connor saved the day at the end of the film, then Kyle doesn't have to come back.
Exactly.
You know, it's a bit of a paradox there.
Yeah.
You know, so there has to be that. It makes sense to have that scene then, you know, and go, well, it is, as you say, it's a loop, you know, that's just going to keep repeating itself.
But it would have had to have been done in a better standard.
I mean, a lot of people are bugged about, I think it was a great ending, but I get what they're saying in terms of the Terminator 2, the incinerating them at the very end, thumbs up, right in.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, if you've destroyed all evidence, then all the events that have just happened shouldn't have happened because you've destroyed. And I mean, send you cross-eyed.
Stephen, there's a fucking chart. There is a chart exists of all of the different timelines, the paradoxes, everything in Terminator. Many people have tried to make sense of it, and I don't think they've succeeded.
No.
I don't think there is any sense now in the multiple timelines.
And every timeline since 1991, the acting's got bad.
It has.
It's got worse.
It has. The films have got worse. They should really have stopped after T2.
Yeah.
That's the prime example of Hollywood forcing.
I mean, can you imagine watching the Terminator 1984, Terminator 2 Judgment Day 1991, and then getting into that Dark Fate where you're like, for the whole of the second part of that trilogy, say,
you're rooting for John Connor.
You're going to protect John, make sure he's okay, and then within the first fucking 3 minutes,
it wasn't even that, Stephen. It was like 50 seconds.
It's ridiculous. We've got Ed back.
Fucking joke.
We've got Ed back.
Still bitter about James Cameron.
Yeah.
But I think it was Comic-Con.
I think it was panic. I think we need to say something because I don't think people are going to come out and see this. Because the vibes at that point where I don't know if I remember John me talking about it,
movie.
And I was like, I don't know if I want to go and see this now. It's getting really bad feedback on where they're going with this and the direction they're going. And then that came out, the James Cameron quote about Ed coming back, and I thought, I might go and watch it after all. If they've got him back, then there's something in it.
It was just what blew me away was it was just a substandard remake of T2 Judgment Day. Everything, the Terminator was this sort of on steroids, lesser version of the Robert Patrick T1000. Everything was just fucking brought Arnie back to being a pollster. I think he was playing Carl.
Carl, yeah.
The upholsterer. He was a comedic levity.
And Sarah was just some bitter old person.
Yeah, who,
I mean, there was a good scene, John. There was a good scene I did like where she did say, I'm starting to forget what he looks like in my memory. I thought that was an amazing scene. And to be fair, I know I don't like the scene. I don't like the whole Edward Furlong character being shot dead right at the beginning. But in terms of the technical aspects of it, it was fucking impressive. It really was.
But what wound me up a bit was the fact he was still wearing the same clothes. Yeah. And I think it was like 2 years later.
As well, yeah.
2 years later, it's like, come on. Does he get one fucking outfit in his wardrobe?
Enemy t-shirt, yeah.
The man would have showered. Or the boy would have showered.
Or get a haircut. He's got the same hairstyle from 2 years ago.
It's like 2 years of a gap.
Yeah. That boy's not reaching puberty.
Well,
Bang.
He didn't. Yeah, it made no fucking sense. Yeah. But again, that was just to just nullify the Schwarzenegger Terminator into this bit part figure. Age him and turn him into this sort of withered old, almost fragile version of what we'd seen. We'd already got that in T2.
Yeah.
It became almost human-like. John had almost turned him into this. I mean, it was done before, wasn't it? It was John in the future that sent him back to protect, so it kind of...
That smile he was trying to do.
Yeah, it was fucking some of the best stuff I've ever seen. What was the line he says? He tried to replicate, didn't he?
No problemo.
No, there was another one. He kept saying dickwad, I think. Didn't he? He did. It's a brilliant fucking film. For me, that is still the best. But Stephen, I'm with you. Terminator has got its own unique energy, the original. And for me, the deleted scene wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
It would have just ruined it as a singular experience.
I just thought the scene in the second one was perfect. The way they revealed it. I thought it was a camera sort of following Dyson through the lab, following him through. There's an actual blooper in it. Dyson actually holds the door open for the cameraman to come through with him.
That doesn't make any sense, does it? Unless there's another person in the room. So and it's first person.
Yeah. So and that little guy with the Pepsi can, the clipboard says, just what I asked, where did it come from? And Dyson's like, you know something? I got asked the same question. I was told, don't ask. So top secret. Big secret. Yeah.
Big secret. And Stephen, I'm actually watching something on Spotify just now, podcast, speaking about Spotify. Joe Rogan. Big secrets. See this guy here, George Knapp. Yeah. I'm obsessed with this fucking guy. He's a journalist who follows a lot of alien stuff. And obviously this thing that's happening in the Senate over in the States just now. A big secret, where did it come from? So I'm going down a rabbit hole. It's good times. It's a great time to be alive, it really is. Yeah. All this stuff that's been revealed. Is it real? Is it an elaborate decoy?
Nothing is real.
John was always a pioneer, a man ahead of his time. And he was right.
Nothing to get hung about, yeah.
Nothing to get hung about, precisely. But yes, are we done? It's an hour and 10 minutes. Wow, I've never in a million years, when you sent those topics over, I thought we would go an hour and 10 minutes.
Good, John, yeah.
It's conversational though, Stephen, and
it has to be, John. I think as well in terms of where we're going with this channel and expanding it out to being a podcast as well, it makes sense to be a bit more conversational rather than now coming in from Screen Rant, this is what he had to say. Now we're moving on to our next move and we're going to talk about that too, like the old days. We can't do that now.
I still do that, to be fair, when I'm on my lonesome.
I think it helps obviously when you get obviously people
you need another voice, you do.
But I think in terms of the sort of podcast format,
it's not really a podcast if it's one person speaking.
No.
It's just has to be multiple people.
Yeah, John,
just a fucking
I'll not mention the channel. Obviously, my wife watches, but it's obviously the mukbangs and stuff like that. And all they do is sit there eating, talking about themselves. It's like a singular camera, one person, and it's only because they're sitting themselves that all they can do is talk about themselves. Yeah. And you're like, they're so.
I don't understand that mukbang thing.
Near there.
And it blows my mind that she in particular, I'm not going to say her name because just in case there's fucking weirdos, but how the fuck can she like mukbang when we're talking about a person who's literally got that condition, misophonia or something?
It's mostly seafood, isn't it?
Yeah, where you chew on things and they're losing their shit, people like that. How can someone with that condition like mukbang?
John, I'm actually watching one just now.
That's
it's a couple
paradox.
they're from Texas. and they're trying like British foods and stuff like that. It's incredible. I'll let
I
you
know
know
who
what
you're
it is.
talking about.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Yeah.
They tried Iron Brew.
They didn't like it.
Didn't like it.
I think
the guy did.
Yeah, have you seen it? Yes, exactly.
They love chocolate.
Yeah, he's always wearing a fishing. It's like a shamrock, isn't it?
They love the Cadbury's chocolate, but
They're
everybody loves
couple.
Cadbury's
I like
chocolate.
them. I do like them. They're very funny.
There's another channel where it's school kids in America.
Yeah, I've seen
and
that
it's
one,
two British guys. And
it's jolly,
But then they flip it and there's British kids get to try American, and there was this young black British guy got to try the sort of fucking quintessential soul food, Southern American soul food.
Oh, yeah.
Fried chicken, biscuits and gravy.
Oh, yeah.
I swear to God. So, what's that fucking
I saw
tray?
the one, the Korean chicken as well. Oh,
my God. Stephen, I have to try the biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
It is fucking
mashed potato.
Incredible. Mashed potato, biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
I've actually made it, but it's not.
Yeah.
You need to get the authentic.
Yeah.
And the young guy says, this food actually makes me happy inside when I'm eating it. And I'm like, that is what everything
John,
should be
you
about.
should say that because it's almost midnight here and I'm getting hungry.
I'll be eating again. It'll not be soul food, sadly. It'll be a king-size pot noodle. And some digestive biscuits. And I wonder why I am now 83 kilos and growing larger by the day.
We can see Harley on the screen, by the way.
Can we? I'm going to go.
Just under your arm.
I'll just go to this shot here. There's my dog panting away.
There he is.
How you doing, Harley boy?
Oh.
He's coughing because he's licking himself because he spends too much time with cats and he thinks he's a cat. Harley, how you doing, my man? Big, sexy 7-stone Labrador. They're truly the best dogs on the planet. No other breed comes close. Some people will say German Shepherds. Others will say Boxers. Some may even say French Bulldogs. Those people have brain injuries. Labradors are the best dogs in the world. There is a reason they're the top breed in the United States, in the UK, and I think in India as well.
Yes, India, yeah.
The best dogs on the planet. They can be a pain in the arse, but they're also tremendous. Look at that.
And the shadows, like with the Beatles.
Yes. But yes, it is. Need to get a light on them. Get that perfect crescent lighting. What's your thoughts though on the topics we touched upon? We're going to round it up here. What's your thoughts on Madhavan being elected, nominated, I think is the correct adjective, to be president of, and I quote, Film and Television Institute of India? Share your thoughts down below about that institute if you know anything about it. But Madhavan being made president, what's your thoughts on it? Anything you feel compelled to share can go down below in the comment section. Thoughts on a potential Beetlejuice sequel? And
That's happening.
Yeah, but just the concept of setting the craziest world possible, this family unit. What's your thoughts on the Beetlejuice sequel? Jenna Ortega, all the gang coming back, bar the father, and just the people working on it behind the scenes, in front of the camera. Behind the camera. Anything you feel compelled to share about that can go down below. Can it succeed? Will it fail? Will it flippity flop? I hope not.
You're an ass, Rooney. You're not know what I'm getting it.
Oh, no. What's your thoughts on the Terminator scene? Should it have been deleted? The chip in the arm with fine answers, no actors. Should they have kept it in the movie? Should it have stayed the way that it currently is? I think, anyway, unless we've got a Berenstain Bears thing happening again, Mandela effect. That's another whole rabbit hole I went down. There's some weird shit going on. Stephen, did you? I'm just going to go off on a tangent before we round this up one more time. Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah.
I remember vividly Fruit of the Loom, the logo having
fruit.
No, having a basket behind it. It had a brown woven basket behind it.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist, Stephen. It's just got fruit.
Yeah. I've watched a video of that, John. Different logos and stuff
I vividly fucking remember it having that motherfucking, there's a name for it, it's a Greek thing.
Yeah.
A basket.
Yeah.
It had it. I remember it.
Yeah.
Apparently
the other one is obviously the
Kit Kat with
Tinkerbell, the introduction of a Disney film. It never happened.
Mr. Monopoly's not got a monocle.
Yeah.
Really? I'm from a different universe, and I knew that, really.
I think that's from Ace Ventura. When Nature Calls, he quotes that, doesn't he? Because the guy's got a monocle, but he doesn't have a monocle.
Yeah, it's bullshit. The whole thing's fucking box. I have to stress. I'm just trying. I like this stuff.
We've been brainwashed, that's the thing.
We've been brainwashed, yeah. It's great to think we're all sheeple. All of us. Terminator, anyway, share your thoughts down below about that deleted scene. Anything you feel compelled to share can go down below in the comment section.
Digwads.
Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon if you can hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyeballs.
No problemo.
Lads in the brain now. Do the same thing over on Twitch. Follow button, notifications button over there to see us live on a different platform. Hit the follow button, like the podcast on Spotify podcast if you're listening to us on there. All that's left to be said is until the next time, me and Stephen are done. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Affirmative.